What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So I recently did a natural light shoot with my friend Emily. Again, her and I have been working together a lot lately. Here's some of our work from our last natural light shoot. And here is some of the work from the shoot that we're going to be talking about today. And what I really want to do here is that I really want to kind of show you guys exactly what was going on, and I want to do like a behind the shot kind of video, and I'll show you guys like my thought process for when we were on location and some of the things that I saw and noticed and why I shot these photos the way that I did. And hopefully it can kind of give you guys like an insight on your next on location shoot, as well as kind of taking some of these tips and maybe, turning them into your own kind of techniques. So with all that said and done, let's just jump right into it. So we actually had to drive out quite a ways. It wasn't insane, but the first location is this spot. Now, you guys know me with greens, but I did see this location and I immediately thought, those are some really good leading lines, right? So I wanted to get Emily in there and, so that way we could kind of get the lines leading up to her, and I knew that in post, I would be able to change those greens and make them darker or a completely different color or whatever the case may be, which is kind of what I did right here and right here. I even wrote a blog about greens. You guys can catch that in the link in the description. I'm kind of just going over how important it is to edit your greens unless you're really, really into it. In my opinion, I feel like unedited greens is just a sign that you are newer to color grading, or you're more of a hobbyist, which is fine. But once you start, working with professional people and doing more professional work, color grading really becomes a skill that you need to work on, which is kind of where I'm at in my career now. But the main thing with these photos that I really want to talk about is just the leading lines and how there's nothing really distracting you from Emily, right? She is just absolutely in focus. She is the center of the photo, right? Like your eyes not wandering anywhere. Originally, there were sticks in these photos and things that were kind of distracting, like different colored flowers and things like that. So I just took them out so that way it was just a nice simple background, as well as changing the greens like I mentioned before. So let's go ahead and let's jump into the next location that we drove to. So after leaving that location, we had to drive a little bit further to try to get to our main location, which was kind of hidden behind the woods, and we had to go on a little hike, which was fine. I'm definitely not new to hiking for photography, but unfortunately there was a hurricane a few months ago, which was a few states away from us, so we were kind of getting all the rain from it. We weren't going to get anything dangerous, but we were just getting heavy rain. So more or less, that's kind of why you can see us kind of trudging through all this stuff. But eventually we did make it, and what we decided to do is that we wanted to get Emily up on these rocks. I was a little too worried originally. I didn't want her to fall, definitely safety over anything. But she is a really dedicated model, and she wouldn't not do it, you know what I mean? But yeah, so basically we had her over there. We were shooting at 1.8, 85 millimeter. So we can get good compression and good image quality, again with the primes, primes are just really where it's at. So I ended up getting this photo and this photo as the main two that I was really into. I got rid of the greens and I kind of gave it a fade and made it more artsy. We also got this photo and this photo here as well. And overall, these are definitely the four. And like I said before, the only reason why I really like these is because of the color grading, right? Shooting them without the color grading, I'm not a huge fan of it. So I just kind of revamped all the colors, and I kind of went in and did a slight retouch, and which was kind of hard to do. There wasn't a lot of light, and if you guys look back in the footage, you guys can see that I'm pretty far away from Emily, and I don't have a really strong telephoto lens, so I'm kind of just using my 85, which is my longest focal length. So I really couldn't get really close to get really good detail, so I was kind of relying on like megapixels and like a steady hand to try to get like as much detail as possible. But yeah, that's really it. But for this location, a couple of tips that I wanted to kind of add out was, since we were shooting in the rain, it's a really smart idea to bring some kind of protectant for your camera. So if you guys look in some of the footage, you guys can see that I actually have a like a camera wrap that I bought on Amazon for like 10 bucks. If you guys want, I can leave the description. I can leave the link in the description for that. It comes with like 2 of them. I've used them both up because they get dirty sometimes. You don't want to put that back on. They're a pain in the clean. I'd rather just buy more. That's just me. Also, like I said before, make sure that everything that your model is doing is safe. You know, you don't want to put them up on something where they could fall or get hurt. And I was trying to not have her jump up on some of these locations, but she's definitely like a go-getter, and she'll definitely do it for the shot. Also, the other photographer that I was working with, his name is Rolf, and him and I actually had a deal that he would edit a photo changing the greens, and I would edit a photo with the greens, because we are like opposites on our color grading. So here's that photo. Rolf, if you're watching this, there it is, bro. All right, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this super short video, and I hope you guys took something away from it. With all that's said and done, I'll see you guys in the next one.